I'll cut it out. I'm making it a little bit shorter tonight because there are a few people over here who still maybe want to go to the wedding and I want to go to the wedding. So I'm not going to do an hour like I normally do. No, I'm not going to do too long. Hashem. This week's class was actually donated to Refuah Shlema, Chaya, Rachel, Bat Ruth. Every word we say will be for Refuah Shlema. And the refreshments and all the fruits and all the snacks. Leilun Nishmat Akiva ben Aaron Meir. Every word we say will be Leilun Nishmato. Okay. Obviously we know this week's Parashat, Parashat Veyera. Veyera Elav, and God showed himself to Avraham. Now, we know this week's Parashat is a continuation of last week. What happened in last week's Parashat? What happened in the end of last week's Parashat? Avraham Avinu does a Brit Milah. He goes to the circumcision. What age did he do circumcision? 99 years old. Imagine 99 years old, you do circumcision. 99 years old, Avraham Avinu does circumcision. Okay? That's where last week's Parashat ends. He's 99-year-old man, circumcision. This week's Parashat starts 3 days after the circumcision. And the Midrash relates, Bereshit Rabbah relates, that the pain is the worst on the 3rd day for the baby. Baruch Hashem, we have no babies testifying because on the 11th day, babies don't talk. And if you did it at an older age, you could testify. You did older age? No. Yeah? 3rd day, the hardest day. And Hashem says, listen, I'm going to go and visit Avraham Avinu. Such a big mitzvah he did to do a Brit Milah. The Parashat actually says that in that merit, just because of the merit of Brit Milah, Kadosh Baruch Hu promised the children, the land of Israel to the Jewish nation. Because of the mitzvah Brit Milah. By the way, interestingly enough, Emach Shemam, but why the only other people in the world who want to have a claim on Eretz Yisrael are the Aravim, the Ishmaelim. Why? They're the only other person in the world that has a Brit Milah. Why? Not only other person, other people do it, but the only one who do it religiously. They're the only other person. Why? Because the koach of the claim, the power of the claim that we have is attached to the Brit Milah. Hashem tells Avraham, I'm going to give you the land, but it's attached to the Brit Milah. And they also have a Brit Milah. And that's their ta'ana. That's the reason they say, oh, we also have a portion in this land. I think I'm going to talk about it, but as a side note, we should all know. When did they have the koach to make a claim on Eretz Yisrael? When do the Ishmaelim have a koach to make a claim on Eretz Yisrael? When our Brit Milah is not so strong. What does it mean? When our Shmirah shel Brit, there's 2 essences of Brit Milah. There's one essence of Brit Milah where you go and do the circumcision. The second essence of Brit Milah is to watch over it. What does it mean to watch over it? To make sure that it's not doing inappropriate things. When our Shmirat Brit is very strong, Ishmael has no claim. But when our Shmirat Brit is a little bit less, then Ishmael can come and start making trouble. Baruch Hashem, we should be all strengthened in that point of Shmirat Brit to be able to really win over in these pressing times. As we know that the battle in Israel intensifies. We've been hearing the news over the last few days. Now that the IDF went into Gaza, now the war is waging on. Baruch Hashem, we're hearing amazing stories. A few, fortunately, and Tzarenu Harav, Leilun Nishmatam passed away. But I'm hearing stories of Yeshuot after Yeshuot of the Jewish nation over there. Hashem, we have a be'atzlacha. Now this week's parasha, on the 3rd day, Avraham Avinu was standing over there, and Kadosh Baruch Hu, says Rashi, he goes to visit Avraham Avinu. He goes to visit him. Rashi on the spot says, why did he go to visit Avraham Avinu? He was doing Bikur Cholim. He went to go visit the sick. And from there we understand how important it is that we ourselves go do to visit the sick. Right? And what is Avraham doing as God is talking to him? Where is he standing? He's sitting in bed, right? You think a 99-year-old man who does God a circumcision, where should he be? In bed, right? Laying down, I'm in pain. Where's Avraham? Standing at the opening of his tent, looking out into the desert. It says Rashi, Apir Midrash, that God made it the hottest day of the whole entire year that day. Specifically, so no guests would come. And Avraham is sitting over there at the door waiting for guests to come in. Meaning at the sea of pain, when his pain is at the highest level, all he's thinking about is, how come I don't have any guests? The Midrash relates, what was hurting Avraham? Not the milah, not the circumcision. The fact that for 2 days he didn't have any guests. That's what was sitting on his mind. That was hurting him. How did I have 2 days and no guests came to my house? Avraham Avinu was a person that all he did, his whole life, his yasod, his essence was chesed, charitability. To take people, to bring people, to everything you could possibly imagine. I heard a story today from Rav Pio. He says a beautiful story that illustrates who Avraham Avinu was. He says in the story that there was a man who went with his son. He got Enterprise rent-a-car. He went over there and said, listen, rent a car. I remember I went to my wife. I never understood this concept. Usually I go to Toro, I rent a car. I went with my wife, we rented a car in Florida. They say, pick a package. Gold, silver, I don't know, all types of packages. I said, okay, no problem, I'll pick a package. My friend convinced me to go through, I don't know, Hertz. So I pick a package. I get over there. It was the most stressful situation I've had in my entire life. Why? You get over there, you go to the counter, you give them all the information. You give them the information, you go out to the parking garage. There's a row of 25 cars. I tell you, pick one. The keys are in the car. Why? I was there for maybe 2 hours. This one? No. This one's enough for the kids. This one's enough for the kids. I'm yelling and screaming at her. Finally, I found one. I'm going to the car. Someone else took it. Finally, the guy gets a car, him and his son, and decide to go on the way. They're traveling right before Shabbat, Friday. This is, by the way, this is why you shouldn't travel on Friday. Traveling on Friday right before Shabbat. They're going on the way, and as they get over there, what happens? The car breaks down. They picked the wrong one. The car breaks down on the way. Now they're maybe 4 hours away. They still have a little bit of time. They call Enterprise, they call Hertz, whatever company it was. Tell them, listen, we need roadside assistance. Please send us another car. They tell them, no problem, we're going to send our driver. An hour passes by. Nobody shows up. They call again. He says to them, listen, I'm sorry, we're having trouble finding another car for you guys. He goes, send us a driver, send us something. Until the driver came to pick them up and everything like that. It was about 1.5 hours, 1 hour left until Shabbat. He said, there's no way we're getting to destination. It's another 3-4 hour drive. So he asked the guy, what do you want me to do? He goes, listen, I want you to drive around this neighborhood, find me a Jew somewhere. So they start driving around until they finally see a Hasidish guy with the tzitzit, the Starma tzitzit coming out with a towel going to the mikveh. The guy jumps out of the car. He tells the guy, sir, I need your help. He says, what happened? He says, I'm here with my son. I have nowhere to be for Shabbat. I'm asking you, I'm begging you, please let me stay at your house for Shabbat. The guy tells him, 100%, are you crazy? For sure you can stay by me. But it's going to cost you. The guy says, whatever you want, I'll pay you, no problem. He goes, okay, come. He gets his son, they get ready to go. He goes, so how much is it going to cost? He says, $1,000 a night. $1,000 for the night? Yeah, but it includes the food, includes everything, $1,000. He said, Moshe, but I have any other choice. 10 minutes before Shabbat, you hit me with $1,000 a night, taking advantage of me? So who's the real Hamas? You or them? $1,000 a night. What's going on over here? It wasn't Shabbat, it was 10 minutes before Shabbat. He knew the stress. The guy says, okay. He gets over there that night, he gets a Shabbat meal. He's thinking, Shalom, right? They get to the thing, the chair's uncomfortable. They put him in a foldable chair. Excuse me, sir, I cannot sit on this chair, turning my back. Give me another chair. They bring him the nicest chair in the house. She starts feeding him food. He says, I didn't really like this food. Can you bring me something else? She gets him a Moroccan fish. He loves the Moroccan fish. Says, bring me another one. Bring me another one. The best liquor he's pouring for himself. I'm like, paid $1,000. Not gonna enjoy myself. He goes to bed that night. The bed uncomfortable. It's a little hurting my back. Calls the guy. Knocks on his door. The guy opens his door. Hey, how can I help you? Listen, the bed's a little bit uncomfortable. You got to change the mattress for me. I don't care what you got to do. We'll make it happen. I can't. He's paying $1,000, no? Tachlis. It's okay, of course, no problem. Whatever you need to change the mattress. Wakes up in the morning, takes the guy to shul. He says, make me a coffee. Everything you can possibly imagine. And the whole Shabbat, everything he wants, everything he's asking, coming, asking. I'm paying $1,000. Me, $1,000 for my kid, $2,000. I better do my Shabbat like a melech over here. Comes Motzei Shabbat, comes to the guy and tells him, listen, it was a wonderful Shabbat. You take Zelle, Venmo, QuickPay, Cash App. How can I get you the money? Bitcoin, Ether, something? He goes, no, honestly, the truth, for free, everything. Only reason I told you $1,000 is because I wanted you to enjoy the Shabbat as if you were paying. To ask for whatever you need. I knew that if I would have told you for free, you would have been baishan, you would have been shy, you would have been embarrassed, you wouldn't have asked. You would have ate my wife's nasty gefilte fish and you would have said it was delicious. Gefilte, honestly, one time in my life I had gefilte fish, it was amazing. I remember it was one time. Don't quote me on this, but I remember one time on this. One time. It wasn't that jelly one, I'll tell you the truth. I went to a house, one time they took me to Shabbaton, I don't know where. Don't ask me where. They took me to a place, got me in a car, they told me to drive up. I drove up, an hour and a half, we get over there. Till today, I don't know which area. We get to a house, we're sleeping in a house, they tell us, you go to this house. Now you think, you're going to get to the house, people are going to welcome you open arms. We get into the house, the door's open, the room to the right, that's your room. No one greeted us, no one said hello. That's your room. We go to the room, me and my friend over there, we're sleeping over there. That night, they invited us over to someone's house. We're walking over, I guess it's a rabbi's house, something like that. We walk over to his house, me and my friend over there. Now, my dad is Ashkenaz, Moroccan Mizuyaf mitzad Abba. Okay? He's a knockoff Moroccan from my dad's side. Okay, but it's Ashkenaz really. But we never grew up eating Ashkenaz food. My mom is Yemenite. I always grew up eating Sephardi food. Spicy, with flavor. So they invited me over for Ashkenaz food. I said, what am I going to do? I'm not going to eat over here. First dish they serve me, gefilte fish. I'm out there, what am I going to do? I'm starving over here, Mavid. They serve me my nightmare, gefilte fish. One night I prayed to Kodesh Baruch Hu. I said, let this gefilte fish be good. I ate the gefilte fish. Wow. Only time in my life it was good. I asked for seconds. Believe it or not, I asked for seconds. That's the only time in my life. I never tried it again. I never will try it again. But one and done, as they say. One and done. But the guy said, Bli neder. What did the guy say? Avraham Avinu told everyone to come to his house. He would go run after them. He would go run after them. He wouldn't just say, hey, you guys want my doors open. He would see a person walking in the desert near his house. He would run after him. Oh, buddy, hey, come here, my friend, come here. What can I do for you? Who are you? No, I want to invite you over. Come something to eat. My wife is making the furnace bread. Let's go. Come on, something delicious. Let's make it happen. And what did the guy say? What are you talking about? Avraham Avinu would act as if they're doing him a favor to come to his house. Ar kidei krach, and the third day of his milah, so much so that in the third day, the highest pain, he's sitting at the oil waiting. He tells his right hand Eliezer, his right hand man, his servant Eliezer, go out and look. Meaning, it's not enough I'm sitting over here and waiting, go out and look. Eliezer goes out to look. He says, I couldn't find anybody. What does Avraham Avinu tell him? You didn't look hard enough. You didn't look hard enough. It must be you don't want it as bad as me. There's no way you didn't find anybody. And Avraham starts making strides in Kol Spain. Hashem saw how much he wanted it, and Hashem brought him three visitors. Now we know the three visitors were angels. Avraham Avinu didn't know they were angels. He thought they were Arabs. Thought they were 3 Arabs, as indicated by he washed their feet. They came into the house. The Midrash says he brought one of his servants to wash their feet. They came in. They had a Chinese pedicure. Something, which color, But man, they washed it. They cut off the dead skin. The whole 9 yards. The whole time, the whole 9 yards. No, but Rashi tells us, why did they wash their feet? If you ever pass by over there a mosque, right, and you get past the and in the back on the outside, you look outside, you see a row of shoes, 1,000 shoes outside, right? You can smell it from down the block. You have 1,000 shoes outside. Why? They believe that you cannot wear shoes when you pray. Their proof to this is Moshe Rabbeinu. When Moshe Rabbeinu saw the burning bush, God told him, take off your shoes. This is the holy ground you're sitting on. That's their proof that you can't pray with shoes on. That's how they bring it, right? So that's why Rashi says, from the fact that he washed their feet, know that they were Aravim. Meaning to say, Avraham Avinu was running to do charity with 3 Arabs. Don't tell me 3 Jews walking by. Don't tell me 3 friends. 3 random people. Bechlad didn't think they were Jewish at all. It was running. They said from the minute they came until the minute they left, he didn't stop running. 99 years old, 3 years into the Brit Milah. 3 days into the Brit Milah. All the pain. He's running like a 20-year-old fresh on the morning. How much he wanted to do it. And what did he tell his wife? He tells his wife, go and bake the finest bread. And I'm going to go make them a delicacy. Now, what was a delicacy in their times? Cow tongue. Cow tongue. Mishubach. I would never touch it. Cow tongue. Mishubach. You have to cook it for 700 hours. Yeah, you ever heard about this? Cow tongue, in order to make it edible, you have to boil it for like 7 hours. Only then you can cook it. I don't know. Avraham Avinu had a way to do it quickly, and a miracle. He went out to go get them a cow tongue. And what happens is he goes out to get one of the calves. The Midrash relates that the calf ran away. Where'd the calf go? Started running. And Avraham starts chasing after this calf. Hey, come here, running after him to try and get him to go. Because he was the choices, he was the most fat, he was the most plush. Avraham Avinu wanted to give him the best food he could possibly imagine. And the calf ran. Where did it run to? All the way to Hebron. And what did he see over there? A cave. He walks into the cave to go get the calf. As soon as he walks into the cave, says the Midrash, he smells Gan Eden. He smells the heaven. Wow, what is this smell? Now he didn't know, but Adam and Chava, Adam and Eve were buried there. Later on, a few years later, when his wife is going to pass away, 127 years, right? When his wife passed away. At this point, Avraham was 100, I think he was 137. It's about 37 years later when his wife passed away. A little bit more than that. 37 years later, Avraham Avinu, when his wife passes away, he goes to buy that same plot because he knows this is going to be the burial spot for me and my wife. And that's exactly where Avraham, Sarah, Yitzchak, Rivka, Yaakov, Leah, and Esav's head are all buried in there. Why Esav's head? We'll talk about it a different day. But all those people are buried over there. Why? Because Avraham Avinu ran to do charity to other people. To go do a good deed with another person. He ran to do it, and the best thing ended up coming back to him. He thought he's doing good for another person, and what ended up happening? He ended up coming back to him double time better. Because he went to run. He comes back. Rashi explains who were these three people. They actually were three angels. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael. Every single one of them had a job. Every one of them had a job. One of them, his job was to heal Avraham. Who was that? Raphael. One of them was to tell Sarah, to tell Avraham's wife that she's going to bear a child. Yitzchak. Who was that? Michael. You didn't know that one. I'm testing you, Habibi. You should have the other one because Raphael, I thought maybe Michael. And the other one to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, Sodom and Gomorrah, Las Vegas. Yeah? To go and destroy Las Vegas. Three of them, each one, Los Angeles now. Habibi, you change your destinations. San Francisco? Gamkin. Okay, long story short, Sodom and Gomorrah. Somewhere over there in California. Somewhere near California. Either Nevada, somewhere over there in that circle. Right? I wanted them to destroy. Now we know, the sages teach us that every angel comes, he has one job. But we see, we'll talk about who Lot was in 2 seconds. But when they go to save Abraham's nephew, two of them go. Why did two go? Talk about it in 2 seconds. But bear this in mind that two went. And we just learned that only angel has a one job. So how is it possible that two went? One of them was supposed to destroy. No one of them came to save Lot. So what happened? What happened over there? As soon as the angels came and they became settled down, outside of the tent, they told Abraham, where is your wife? Ayeh, Sarah, Ishtecha. Tom, where is your wife? Sarah. Right? And he says, Ba'ohel. As soon as he says the word, I want you guys to understand how deep the understanding of how God operates the world. As soon as he said the word Ba'ohel, retroactively, at that moment, a decree came down from heaven to save Lot. Why? We fast forward when the Jews came out of Egypt, they passed, when they were going to the wilderness, they passed over Moab, over the Moabites. And they didn't come out to greet them. One of the character traits you need to be a Jew is chesed, charitability. How do you have somebody passing by your house? You have Abraham Avinu, who's your forefather, going out to run and catch anybody you can to bring them into the house, and people are passing by, you don't even go out to give them water? At that moment, Hashem decreed that any Moabite cannot be accepted into the Jews. No converts from the Moab. No converts from them. We're never going to accept them. Ever. Never. That means, Ruth HaMoaviyah, who's that? That was David HaMelech's great-grandmother. Ruth. She was actually a Moabite. So how was she accepted as a convert? When the angel came and he asked Avraham Avinu, where's your wife? And he said, in the tent. At that moment, retroactively, a law came down that a woman doesn't have to go out to greet, only the men. And therefore, only the Moabite men weren't accepted, but the women were accepted. At that moment, retroactively, a decree came out from heaven to save Lot. Why? Because from Lot comes Ruth. From Ruth comes David HaMelech. At that moment, everything was saved. At that moment. So, an angel came, Raphael, got another job to go and save Lot. We'll talk about it in a minute. What happened with the story with Lot? We know Lech Lecha, we learned that Lot left with Avraham Avinu. Right? He went with Avraham Avinu, no? Lech Lecha, me'artzecha, me'beit avicha. He goes, he takes who with him? His nephew. Now imagine this. Who is Lot? He's great enough to be mentioned in the same name as Avraham Avinu. Me, with all my shtutim, I never once got mentioned the same name as Avraham Avinu. Never. But Lot got mentioned with him. So there's some type of greatness over here. He left with Avraham Avinu, and where does he go? They go with all they were herdsmen. He brings their cattle. Now, Lot knew that God promised Abraham the land. He said, this whole land will be your land. Now, Lot knew that Abraham didn't have children at this point. So what did he think? Who's going to inherit him? Me. He's going to die. All the land that God promised him is coming to me. So they go out with the cattle. And Lot says, you want to eat from everybody's house? Go eat. No problem. Tell his herdsmen, let them eat from wherever. So they pass by David's house. They pass by Yitzchak's house. All over. Everyone, they're eating. Avraham, so herdsmen start yelling at them. You're not allowed to eat from wherever you want, only from public places. Not from someone's private property, that's stealing. Start getting into a fight. Avraham comes to Lot and says, listen, we can't have this. You can't be eating from other people's property, that's stealing. You have to be very meticulous in how we treat other people's property. What does Lot tell him? What do you care? Anyways, it's all yours. God promised it you anyways. It's going to be yours, and retroactively it's going to be mine too. Avraham tells him, listen, you with your crooked ways, you go your way, I'll go my way. You pick whichever way you want to go, I'll go the complete opposite way. Now Lot, where did he decide to go? At that point, they already passed over Sodom V'Amorah a couple times. And from there, he could smell the cinnamon buns. He was walking by like he was walking in King's Plaza, and they had the big fan with the cinnamon buns. He could smell the delicious cinnamon buns over there, and the pizza, and the whole 9 yards. He knew they were playing blackjack over there. And his heart was, listen, if I have to pick a place to go, I'm going to Las Vegas. What can I do? All the desires over there. That's exactly where he went. Let me tell you what the place Sodom V'Amorah was. Sodom V'Amorah was a place where they had a law. You cannot have guests. You want to invite a friend over? Too bad. But if you went over the law, forget this for a second. If you went over the law, and you invited somebody, if he's tall, you have to put him in a short bed and cut off his legs to make him fit into the bed. If he's short, you got to put him in a stretcher to stretch him out to fit into the bed. Everything they can do to agonize people, to just cause torture to people. That's who they were. The worst people in the entire world, women. And God says, I'm going to go over there. Why? I have no idea. Till today, I don't understand what he saw over there. But when a person has desires, they're very strong. That's what he wants to go do, he goes. God goes over there. Now, the Malachim come and they tell Abraham all the news. Your wife's going to give birth. Now, when Sarah hears in the tent that she's going to give birth, now bear in mind, Abraham is 99 years old. And she's in her almost 90 years old. She's not a young woman. And what does she say? She laughs and she tells God, my husband is old. How am I going to have children with him? Now God speaks to Abraham and he says, why is your wife saying that she's old? Wait a second. What did she say? My husband is old. She didn't say that she's old. God comes to Abraham and tells him, why is your wife saying that she's old? So what do we just see in the Torah? That God told a little bit of a white lie. What's going on over here? We see that when it comes to the peace in the home, when a husband and wife, it's okay to lie. What's a classic case? The wife comes down in the dress for the wedding. Do I look good in this dress? Yes. 100%. Beautiful. How's that omelet? Wow. The best omelet in the whole entire world. I have to invite everybody over to come and try this. Yo, David, please do me a favor. Please, eat this food. Just say it's good. Just do me a favor. I know it's terrible. I know the gefilte fish is whack. But just eat it and just say it's good. Where you know that you're allowed to do that? You're not allowed to lie, right? But you're allowed to lie in one case. To your husband and to your wife. Your husband comes down and says, do I look good in this suit? And his belly's looking like a keres. And his head is shiny. Yeah? Wow, $1 million. He's the best husband in the whole entire world. Mutar. Allowed to lie. Why? For Shalom Bayit, we're allowed to lie. And we learn that from Sarah Yemenu, now God himself. God himself. The importance of Shalom Bayit. How it is to keep peace between people. How important it is. Even a little white lie, sometimes it's okay. Where were you? No, I had to. She didn't want to tell her you were talking with friends. How come you didn't come home so late? I was sitting with this guy. He started talking to me about a business deal. You're making up all these stories. You're sitting down talking about football, baseball. Long story short, we see a mikol over here from the Torah that a person is allowed to tell a little bit of a white lie in order to keep shalom and peace between another person. Now, we have to understand. The angels tell Abraham at this point, we're going to destroy Sodom V'Amorah. Michael leaves, Ephraim and Gabriel go, we're going to destroy Sodom V'Amorah. Now, at this moment, Abraham starts to pray. He begins to pray. And he begins to beseech God on behalf of the worst place in the whole entire world. He said, I'm going to pray for Sodom and Gomorrah, you're not going to destroy them. And he comes to God, what do you say to them? Listen, Hashem, who am I? What am I? Ani afar ve'efer, I'm dust and ashes. I can never come to make a request from you. But I am going to ask one thing. If there's 50 people, 10 minyanim over there, 5 minyanim over there, 10 guys on each 5 different cities, 50 people. Maybe you'll save the place. God says to him, 50 people, don't worry. I'll save them. Abraham says, great. What if there's missing 5 people and there's 45 people? Maybe God will also save 45 people? Hashem says, 45, don't worry, on me. Now you think you're stop at this point, right? Abraham says, okay. I don't mean to ask. Now he was a good negotiator. You know, when you're dealing with the guy on the phone and says, how much you want to sell the couch? 1,200. Okay, I hear you. 1,100 is possible? Listen, it's time, I'll do it. Okay, what about 1,000? Bro, come on, don't push the envelope, buddy. Don't push the envelope. Abraham says to him, maybe 40. Hashem says, you know what? Yeah, 40. What does Abraham say? Maybe 30. It's possible. Maybe we can bring the price down a little bit. Hashem says, don't worry, 30. And that's it. It stops over there, right? Okay, I'll buy the couch. Maybe 20. Yeah? Hashem says, no problem. 20, I like. That's where it stops, no? Maybe 10. Maybe 10 people. Hashem says, for 10 people I'll save the place. But it's not even 10 people. And the Pasuk says something beautiful over there. And from here, this is what I want to talk about. It says that Abraham understood that there wasn't 10 people, and he went back to his place. And he went back to his place. What does that mean? Now imagine now this to yourself. Me and Avi Shalom are talking. We're having a dialogue. Maor says like this, Avi says like this. Maor says like this, Avi says like this. And then I tell you, and Avi went back to his seat. Who cares? What does that have to do with the place? He goes back to his place. What does that mean? He goes back to his place. Why do we need to know? The Torah doesn't add any extra words. Why did it specifically tell us that he went back to his place? What's coming to teach you? That Avraham Avinu prayed to God for something, Hashem didn't answer, and he went back as if nothing happened. Nothing changed. He still believed in God the same way he did before, even though he wasn't answered. And from here we learn a very, very special secret of the world. Sometimes in life a person is going to pray for something he wants as hard as he can, with all his entire heart. He's going to pray. He's going to pray, right? And Hashem is going to tell him, sorry, I can't give it to you. And how are you supposed to react? How are you supposed to respond to this? I've had so many people come to me and tell me, oh, I started becoming religious. All of a sudden you see them one day, they're off the way. What happened? Why do you stop? No, one time in a situation I prayed to God, He didn't give it to me, and that's it. It's all phony baloney. That's a phony baloney. I'll tell you why. Kosh Baruch Hu knows what's good for you even when you don't know what's good for you. What's the classic case? This is the best example in the whole entire world. When your kid comes to you and tells you, Abba, I want a piece of candy. You give him a piece of candy? One you're going to give him, nachon? Here, give one candy. Now a kid never stops with one candy. Ever. Take it down to the rule. A kid will never stop with one candy, right? If they don't take one, that's it? No way. Jakey definitely doesn't. Takes one, he wants another one. At a certain point, the kid is going to come and ask you for a candy and you're going to tell him, no. And what you're going to do? You just start going crazy. Huh? Now what are you thinking as a parent? What's going to happen after he starts going crazy? You tell him, hey, I told you, I already gave you one. This is unappreciative. You're going to continue like this, you're going to go time out. You're fighting back and forth, you and the kid, until you put him in timeout. Now you're sitting there, the kid's screaming and going crazy in timeout. You as a parent, how do you feel? Yeah, I won. You feel terrible in your heart. What would have been easier? Just give it to him. Give him the candy. Why are you not giving him the candy? Why are you not giving the kid the candy? Hiccup. Why are you not giving him the candy? Because you know the feeling of a root canal. He doesn't. Habib, if you know the feeling of a root canal, that's it. Just the needle when they come into the eye, that's it. You already want to give up candy for life. You know? That's like a woman giving birth. The needle and the thing, it's like a woman giving birth. It's a pain. Cavities, the money it costs you. Insurance doesn't cover root canals. You got to pay out of pocket, the pain, the this, the that. All the suffering in the world. And I imagine if you eat a lot of candy, it's going to be very big. Now you got to run on a treadmill and go fight to be skinny. Makarapo. Man. No, I'm telling personal story. No, but man, what's going on over here? A parent knows what even the kid doesn't know. And Hashem is our parent in Shamayim. He's our parent. But He sees everything. He knows everything. So you pray for Him. I want to be rich. I want to be rich. Right? I want to be rich. And Hashem says, listen, I'm sorry. I can't make you rich. You don't understand. You're praying to be rich and to be rich and to be rich. Says, I can't make you rich. Why can't I make you rich? How many stories have we seen? Imagine to yourself now. A person who wins the Mega Millions. Most people who win the Mega Millions are from down south, from rural, I don't know, Texas, Utah, Oklahoma, I don't know, some other places. Wow, I can't believe I won, right? Amen. No financial advisor. The whole life, all they've been doing is buying scratch-offs and all these things. What happens? What happens? You go broke. Huh? After a year, the debt broke, in debt, they don't have what to do with the money, they never worked there in their life, they don't know how to pay back the debt. That's it, it's over, life's over. All the money in the world, but it was not good for you. All the money in the world, but it wasn't good for you. Kosh Baruch Hu knows what test it is. You know what test it is to have money? Money is not an easy test. To be a multi-millionaire is not a light test. You don't get to be a multi-millionaire and be stingy. Kosh Baruch Hu says, you get to be a multi-millionaire, buy whatever you want, but when people come knocking on your door, get ready to give it to them. Because you're not going to get the knocks on the door with the guy, can I get $1? Can I get $1? No, not that people are going to get word that you're a multi-millionaire. What's going to happen? All day, though, going to be knocking. Oh, my daughter's getting married. She doesn't have money for chuppah. We need 80,000. You have to give it out. Okay, no problem. The next. Until you lock all the doors, you move to Wisconsin, that's it. It's a big test. And only Hashem knows what you'll do when you get there. Wrong, right, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're there. But you don't know. You weren't there. You don't know the feeling of a root canal. You don't know the feeling of what it is to have that test to write $1 million check. You know what it is to write $1 million? You can make 10. Make 10 million. You know the test of what it is to write down $1 million check? It's a serious test. Kosh Baruch Hu, you're there. But, there's another teaching we have in this. The Midrash relates that every single one of the prayers that Hashem did, 50, 45, 40, 30, 20, 10, every single one of them relates back into a time in the future where the Jewish nation only had this amount of people who were righteous among them, and Hashem saved them because of this prayer that Avraham Avinu did. So don't think that your prayer ever goes to waste. A prayer never goes to waste. Maybe it won't reach you. You can pray your whole life to be a millionaire, and your son will be a millionaire. I know one guy who prayed his whole life to have a boy, 3 daughters, never had a son, 3 daughters, every single one of the daughters, first kid, boy, boy, boy. Boy, 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 boy. Another boy. Why do you think all the tefillot go to waste? Tefillot never go to waste. Maybe Hashem is telling you, you have to have that belief in Him. You have to have that emunah in Him to understand what's going on. I have to believe. I have to trust in you wholeheartedly. Even sometime when you're telling me, no, you're my father, I have to trust you. I have to believe in you. We spoke on Tuesday. I didn't record Tuesday. We spoke about Tuesday, what it is. Sefer Bereshit, the first book, Genesis, is called Sefer Yeshar. The book of the upright. Why were they called upright? Without going on to details we did on Thursday. It's called the book of the upright because Masechet Avodah Zarah says Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov were upright. Why were they upright? Why were they righteous? Because they believe in God wholeheartedly. To be an upright person, you have to believe in God wholeheartedly. Until what point? There's a famous story. Everyone heard about it. Chazkiah HaMelech. Chazkiah HaMelech one time went to war. Israel, in our history, one of the Syrian kings came up against us with 3 million soldiers. 3 million soldiers and began to lay siege on Israel. Now, Chizkiah was a king at that time. He was sitting in Yerushalayim. I didn't say the story on Tuesday, but I wanted to say. He was sitting in Yerushalayim. And 3 million troops are laying siege to the city. And he's sitting over there, no army, no nothing. Comes the prophet Yeshaya and tells him, Hashem spoke to me and told me they will not enter the city, and not even one of their arrows will enter the city. Not even one of their arrows will enter the city. And at that night, they were encircling Jerusalem, where he was. What will you do now? If 1 million Hamasnikim were surrounding your house, you sleeping? What are you doing? You're going to be on the phone, chilling, watching TV. What are you doing? You're panicking, right? What does Chazkiah do that night? Goes to sleep. He goes to sleep. And what does Baruch Hu say back to him? You trust in me? I got you. Sends down a malach, sends down an angel, kills over 150,000 of the soldiers. 180-something thousand of the soldiers overnight. They wake up in the morning and see around them dead bodies. See some of a witchcraft is going on over here. They all got up, 3 million, and left. Not one arrow, not one person was gone. Emunah pshita, emunah, simplicity. Hosh Baruch Hu wants from us emunah. Right now more than ever, with everything that's going on in the whole entire world, with the 200% uptick in anti-Semitic hate crimes and all the things that we're hearing, first thing I advise everybody to get off social media. Right now, I'm telling you right now. Get off Instagram, get off the Facebook. You're not seeing good things over there. Don't have community to your life. All it's doing is creating fear in your hearts, which is exactly what they want to do because it's exactly what divides you. Because our power is our faith. Our power is our faith. No one Jew in the whole entire world should walk around afraid. Impossible. Not one Jew in the world. Chizkiah had 3 million people around him and he fell asleep like a baby. The best sleep of his life probably. I'm serious. You have to have faith, emunah in Hashem, because if you look at the history of the Jewish nation, only one thing makes sense, that nothing makes sense. Chizkiah HaMelech, 3 million people surrounding him and he's falling asleep like a baby. That's the emunah and bitachon we have to have in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. People are surrounding us. The whole nations of the world are coming against us. And the faith that we need to have is that God is 100% supporting us. Look at the history of the Jewish nation. We're not even 1% of the world. History of the world, Ottoman Empire, Spanish Inquisition, Holocaust, massive amounts of people come up against us, and the only one to survive is us. Ottoman Empire, gone. Spanish Inquisition, gone. Nazis, gone. Everyone ever came against us, gone. So to them, they'll be gone. I promise you this. Our history is a testament of what's going to be in the future, but you have to believe it. You have to believe it. You have to believe it. Don't be afraid. There's no reason for you to be afraid. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu can kill 1 million of them tomorrow if he wanted to. Just today I heard a story of a few IDF soldiers went out into a gun battle with 30 Hamasnikim. I don't know who they were. 30, and they were I don't know how many. How many of them were killed? How many Hamasnikim were killed? 20 out of 30. Right, 2/3. 67%. We round up with them. Round up. Yeah? 67%. And on our side, not even one. Not even one. Oh, Hashem, see this? No question Hashem is with us everywhere we go. But you have to believe it, you have to know it. The Rambam writes, any soldier who goes out to war and believes in his heart wholeheartedly that he's going to fight this war for mitzvah, for the mitzvah of Am Yisrael, to fight for the nation of Israel, when Rambam promises him that he's going to come back shalem to his family. Come back shalem, not only he's going to come back fully, nothing to do with anything, no prayer, no heart, nothing. He's going to come back, he's going to get married, he's going to have children, and so on and so forth. The power of Emunah, you have to understand this. Avraham Avinu was the epitome of this. No matter what came to him in his life, he had Emunah. 10 tests he was tested. We talked about it in the past. 10 tests. When he finished the last test, which is the Akedah, this week's Parashat, the Akedah, tells him, take your beloved son and go put him on the altar. The last one. I'm done. Yeah. I'm going to tell you now, 10 tests. At least you can handle it, right? At least you can handle the torture, right? You're beating the sauna right now for 10 minutes. You can handle it because you know it's getting 10 minutes. You're counting down in your mind. 10 tests. Tells Abraham, I'm going to test you. He gets back for the last one. His wife is dead. His wife is dead. So that's the 11th test. Where does this test come from now? You're adding a test at me now. And not once did Abraham ask a question. Not once. So who's missing something? Is the misunderstanding by them or is by us? The misunderstanding is by us. If we don't understand what they didn't have any questions on God, the misunderstanding is with us. They understood the world on the deepest level you could possibly imagine. They understood, they spoke with God face to face almost. Moshe Rabbeinu spoke to them face to face, but they spoke with God. They understood that things are beyond our comprehension, that we cannot understand this world, we cannot fathom this world. And it was as hard as it is to say it, but death is not the worst thing in the world. Some people think you have to be afraid of death. It's not. Truth of the matter is look at Moshe Rabbeinu. And he told God, I prayed 515 times to go into Eretz Yisrael. He never prayed once to continue to live. He never said, Hashem, let me live. He said, let me go into Eretz Yisrael. Why? I want to do the mitzvot. As sure as Hashem told him, don't worry, I'm going to give it to you as if you did the mitzvot. What did Moshe Rabbeinu say? I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. He didn't fight. He didn't go back. None of the avot. Afilu Bilam. Bilam, a wicked non-Jew who married a donkey. His wife was a donkey. Okay, we talked about it in the past. Okay, he married a donkey. Wicked prophet of the Goyim. End of his life, when all the shit is over. After he went to the parties, he went to the this, he went to the that, after he chased all the money and all that. At the end of the life, when the clarity comes, because I promise you one thing, that when you're sitting over there, when that person, Ishmael, is sitting on their deathbed, they only have one thing on their mind. Clarity. And what life is really worth. Only one thing was on his mind, regret, because he says, I wish I had the merit to die like a Jew. I wish I had the merit to die like a Jew. You know what's waiting for you up there. You know what's waiting for you up there. Look at the real estate's waiting for you up there, Habibi. Now you're here right now, every minute over here, get another property in Shemayim. You get over there, have a nice NOI waiting for you, net operating income, huh? Yeah, man. What do you think I'm doing this for? I told you guys, I'm real estate, baby. I'm real estate all day. Tell you, what do you do? I sell real estate. Really? Where? Which neighborhood? Gan Eden. In heaven, baby. That's the reality of the world. We have to understand it. We have to know that wholeheartedly. And we'll finish with this. As much as we understand that at Tfilot, sometimes the Kosh Baruch Hu says no. And sometimes things are beyond our comprehension and nature. But we said this before in the past, and I'll say it again now. Also in this week's parasha, there's a secret to get your prayers answered. What's the secret to get your prayers answered? I'll tell you. It says the Gemara in Baba Kama. It's a person who needs something. And his friend also needs something. And he prays for his friend. He gets enjoyment first. Meaning Hashem will answer him and then he'll answer his friend. What do I mean to say? I'll give you an example. Two girls need to get married looking for their shidduch, looking for their partner. One girl decides, instead of me praying for myself, I'm going to pray for my friend. And she prays for a friend. Says the Gemara, the one who's praying for a friend gets answered first, and then her friend gets answered. Even though it's against nature. How do you know? The Gemara brings two proofs. One proof, the second proof, Avraham Avinu. We spoke about in the past where his wife went down to Mitzrayim, and the Pharaoh took her and married her. What if I told you it happened again? It happened again. Avraham Avinu goes down to Gerar, and Avimelech comes and takes his wife, and he marries her. And as a punishment, God makes all the women in the land barren. No more children, stomach pains, in the bathroom every 30 seconds. You know? Like you just ate, I don't know, my wife, quinoa, I don't know what it is. It's something crazy. I promise. I wrote that. She made me some tuna steak and something. I don't know what the side dish was. A shallow stomach. You feel it. Whoa. Right away. And what does Avraham Avinu do? This guy just took your wife. Yeah? He just took your wife. Doing mesibot, enjoying life. Hashem gives him punishment. What are you going to say? You took my wife? Magia alecha hamo. You know? You deserve it. Take my wife. You think, who do you think you are? And what does Avinu do? Without blinking an eye, he prays for him. There's a pasuk in the Torah that Hashem answered Avram's prayers and that he healed everyone. But before he did that, he answered Avram and his wife, who was 90 years old. Who, impossible to give birth. He was 100. According to logic, doesn't make any sense. Bearing a whole entire life. And she would fight with him. Hamasi alecha. That you didn't pray for me. You didn't pray for me. You didn't pray for me. How come I didn't have a child? She suffered. She for years suffered. She couldn't take it that Hagar had Ishmael. And against nature, they were praying. And one time Avraham Avinu prays for another person that they're going to have a healing on their stomach. Same exact moment, Hashem heals his wife and she has a baby. What do we learn from over here? Sometimes in life, Hashem will give you a no. But you want to know the way to get around it sometimes? Is to pray wholeheartedly. Don't think you can play tricks on God. God knows the truth of your heart. You're praying for them, but you're really praying for yourself. It doesn't work. Praying for another person genuinely, wholeheartedly is a secret to get your prayers answered. How do you get to that level? How do we get to the level we can enjoy and appreciate the success of another person? You see a person driving a nicer car than you. And you, Hashem should bless him, only to keep on going. Hurts. Oh, what about me? Huh? He has a nice house. You want to say, very nice house. But in your heart, what are you saying? What about me? I think, where's my G-Wagon? Where's my, my mansion? How come we don't have the ability to pray for another person? Maybe you guys do. But how come most people don't have the ability to pray for another person and genuinely pray for their well-being, regardless of where they are? One of the 10 commandments is, don't kill, don't steal. One of them is, don't envy thy neighbor. Anyone who read these things, thinking to themselves, it makes 0 sense. Why is don't envy thy neighbor up there? Think about it. Don't kill, don't steal, don't envy thy neighbor. Imagine now, you're a judge in court, okay? 3 people come into the courtroom. One guy, this guy murdered a guy in broad daylight, shot him 9 bullets. What's his sentence? To death. Great. Easy, no? Yeah, great. Just having an easy day. Another guy comes in. This guy stole from a person, brutally took from him all his money, every capacity imagine, took his car. This guy, 25 to life or death, whatever it is. Comes the last person in. No, what's the crime? Sir, you're not going to believe it. What? The worst possible crime you could imagine. What? He saw his neighbor's house and he wished in his heart that he could also have a house like this. To death! What is don't envy thy neighbor doing up there, B'chlal? I am your God, don't make yourself another God. Don't worship idols. Respect your mother and your father. Worship the Shabbat. Don't kill. Don't steal. Don't envy thy neighbor. What are you doing up there? How'd you get up there? How'd you sneak your way into the 10 Commandments? No, you ever ask yourself this question? You're reading it. Don't envy thy neighbor. What's so big deal? Wow, so what? I got jealous. You have to understand that when a person is jealous, when a person gets jealous, in a sense, he's saying, I know better than God. Why? How's he saying that? He's saying that what you gave him is right for me. And what you gave me is not right for me. What does it mean to say? God, you don't know the right calculations. I know the right calculations. So when you say don't envy thy neighbor, it's the same level as saying make for yourself another God. Who are you making God? Yourself. I'll tell you, I'll finish with this story. There was a guy who his whole life struggled, money, this, that, everything you could possibly imagine. One day at the age of 60, he's walking in the street, he gets hit by a car. Whoop, kills the guy. Yeah? He goes up to heaven. Comes up to the heavenly court. You tell him, hey, what's going on with you, Habibi? You didn't do anything. He goes to him, what? You guys have a claim against me? Look at the life you gave me. Give me the worst life you could possibly imagine. You would have gave me his life. You would have gave me his life. Okay, I would have been a tzaddik. What do you want from me? You gave me the worst life. At that moment, they didn't know what to do. They called God. God, what are we doing with this guy? He's coming over here. He's making claims against us. God says, listen, here's what we're going to do. Let him go down to the special room where we have the lives to pick, where how much suffering a person's going to have, whichever life he's going to have. Let him go down to that room and pick whichever package he wants, and we'll bring it back to the world with the package. The guy, the judge sitting over there, the first time in his history, he heard such a thing. Hang up the phone, he tells the guy, okay, special clause. God says, for you, for the first time in history, we're letting you go down to the special room, and you're going to pick your own package. Really? Yeah? You're going to pick your own package. Okay, let's go. He goes, says, okay, go down to the elevator, go down to the second floor, take a right, take a left, speak to Bernice, she'll tell you which room to go to. He goes down, Bernice, what can I, over there to the right, right? He goes to the room, he walks into Amazon warehouse. Wow, how much packages over there, okay? And what does he start doing? Looking for the tiniest one. Picks up one tiny one, says, okay, I got a good one, but wait, there. Eventually, you see the tiny one all the way on the top over there, on like a mountain of packages. He starts to climb up. He finally gets it. He gets his little tiny package. He says, yes, he's excited, he's elated. He goes back up, he says, I picked my package. And the judge tells him, wow, Baruch Hashem, I'm happy to see you pick your own package. I'm happy to see you pick your own package. If a person understood that life is not what you see. You see something from the outside, you think, that's nice, no? You see a guy's beautiful house on Ocean Parkway or in Mill Basin, and you think, wow, this is a nice house. You walk into the house, it's cold. Not cold, it's freezing, because he probably has heated floors. It's cold because there's no one else in the house. The kids don't love the parents, and so on and so forth. You don't know what's going on in the house. You don't know. You know how many stories we hear? How many stories we hear? Why do you think the highest paid physical therapist in the world is Los Angeles? Why? The more money, the more you need a therapist. The reality is what you see from the outside not always is the best. Hashem says, just know and believe wholeheartedly that whatever life I gave you, whatever, with the hardships, with everything you could possibly imagine, know I did it for your best, and this is the best life for you in this world and the next. In this world and the next. Hashem will be zocheh to have real emunah in Hashem, to understand wholeheartedly that everything Hashem does for us is for the best,